Let me ask you something. Have you ever received one of those emails claiming a Nigerian prince needs your help to unlock a $10 million fortune? Or maybe you've seen one of those sketchy YouTube ads where Elon Musk is personally inviting you to invest in some new crypto coin, but something about his voice feels off? Yeah. You've been targeted by a scam. But here's the wild part: these kinds of scams? They're not new. Scams have been around for thousands of years. Before the internet, before the phone, even before indoor plumbing. So in this video, I'm going to take you on a ride through the history of scams from ancient Greece all the way to the terrifying world of AI deepfakes. Some of these stories are funny, some are genius, some are just straight up evil. But one thing is clear: wherever there's money, there's someone out there trying to steal it. Let's dive in, and hey, keep your wallet close. The Oracle Prophecy Hustle. Ancient Greece. Imagine you're a wealthy merchant in ancient Greece. You're about to send your fleet across the Mediterranean, and you want a divine blessing from the gods. So you go to the Oracle, a sacred figure, maybe even high on fumes. She gives you a mysterious scroll with your fortune. But here's the scam. That scroll? It wasn't divine at all. It was written by a guy in the back, selling fake, custom prophecies to desperate people. He'd copy vague lines like, "A great journey shall bring fortune or ruin," and boom, prophecy sold. The best part? No refunds. If your ship sank, well, the gods work in mysterious ways. Fast forward to the 1800s. America's Wild West is full of dusty towns, sick people, and no FDA. Enter the snake oil salesman. He rolls into town in a wagon, sets up a stage, and starts preaching about a miracle cure made from rare snakes from China. He's got testimonials usually staged by his own crew and bottles filled with God knows what. People buy it. He makes a killing. Then he skips town before anyone figures out they just bought flavored alcohol with herbs in it. By the time snake oil became slang for total BS, the real guy was long gone. Paris, 1925. The Eiffel Tower was falling into disrepair. Newspapers were buzzing about how expensive it was to maintain. That's all Victor Lustig needed. He forged government documents and posed as a French official. He held a secret auction to sell the Eiffel Tower as scrap metal. One desperate businessman took the bait. He handed over a small fortune and then, out of embarrassment, never reported it. Victor? He ran off to Austria with the cash. Then he came back to Paris a month later to do it again. Charles Ponzi, the man, the scheme, the legacy. The man so committed to scamming, they literally named a scam after him. It's the early 1920s. Ponzi is an Italian immigrant in Boston, broke but bursting with charm. He discovers something called international reply coupons, boring, bureaucratic postal vouchers used to pay for return postage overseas. Ponzi has a spark of an idea. He realizes that due to currency fluctuations after World War I, these coupons are technically worth more in the US than in some European countries. So in theory, you could buy them cheap overseas, bring them back, and cash them in for a profit. And he tells investors he's doing just that. But here's the truth. He never actually bought or sold any coupons at scale. It was all smoke and mirrors. He just used new investor money to pay off earlier ones, giving the illusion of huge profits. And it worked, like wildfire. Word spread, and people started throwing their life savings at him. At his peak, Ponzi was making about $250,000 a day. That's over $3 million a day in today's money. He bought mansions, wore the finest suits, drove luxury cars, and was hailed as a genius. Even the Boston Post praised him at first. But here's the twist. His entire scheme could only work as long as new money kept flowing in. When people started asking questions like, "How are you making all this money again?" the whole thing crumbled. In the end, he owed investors $7 million, but had less than $60 in the bank. He was arrested, imprisoned, and later deported to Italy. He lived out his final years in poverty, partially blind and working as a translator in Brazil. But his legacy? Immortal. Every pyramid scheme today, from shady crypto coins to fake investment apps, traces its DNA back to Ponzi. Now, if Ponzi was the original white-collar scammer, then Frank Abagnale Jr. was the rock star of fraud. Get this, he started forging checks at just 16 years old. But he didn't just write bad checks, he impersonated some of the most trusted professionals in society. First, a Pan Am pilot. He forged a pilot's license, made his own employee ID, and started deadheading flying for free in the cockpit jump seat across the world. How did he get away with it? He acted like he belonged. He wore the uniform, talked the talk, and had a charm that made people want to believe him. But he didn't stop there. At one point, he posed as a pediatrician in Georgia. For 11 months, no med school, no license, just confidence and fast talking. He even ran the night shift at a hospital, supervising interns while secretly reading medical dictionaries in the break room. Later, he became a lawyer in Louisiana, passed the bar after failing twice, and worked at the state attorney general's office, all before the age of 21. He forged millions of dollars in fake checks across 26 countries. He was eventually caught in France, imprisoned across Europe, and finally extradited to the US. But here's the biggest twist of all. After serving his time, the FBI hired him as a fraud consultant, helping them understand check fraud, ID scams, and white-collar crime. Today, he gives lectures for the FBI and Fortune 500 companies. His life inspired the Spielberg film Catch Me If You Can, with Leonardo DiCaprio playing Frank. In one interview, Abagnale said, "I never stole from anyone who could not afford to lose the money." Still, depending on who you ask, he's either a legend or a guy who still might be exaggerating his own scam story. Either way, it's one hell of a tale. The Nigerian prince scam. Picture this. It's 1998, and you open your email inbox back when that was still kind of exciting, and there's a message titled, "Urgent Request, Help from Royalty." A Nigerian prince or government official or banker explains that he's trying to move millions of dollars out of his country, and for some reason, you are the lucky person chosen to help. All you have to do is send a small fee to unlock the fortune, and then you'll get a massive reward. Spoiler alert, there's no prince, no money, just an empty wallet and a lot of embarrassment. This scam, known as an advance fee fraud, has been around for centuries in different forms, but email gave it global reach. What's wild is that it still works, not because people are dumb, but because scammers use psychological tricks, urgency, secrecy, emotional hooks, and the idea of easy money. At its peak, this scam pulled in hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And while Nigerian prince scams became a meme, they were just the tip of the iceberg. If Charles Ponzi was the father of the pyramid scheme, Bernie Madoff was the king. He wasn't some fast-talking con man with fake IDs. Madoff was a Wall Street icon, a former chairman of NASDAQ, with decades of experience and an air of total credibility. He told investors he had a secret formula, a consistent way to beat the market, regardless of crashes or global recessions. And it worked, or so it seemed. Investors included celebrities, universities, banks, charities, even Holocaust survivor organizations. People trusted him. He didn't advertise big gains, just consistent low-risk returns. But behind the scenes, there were no trades, no magic formula, just another Ponzi scheme. He used new investor money to pay off older ones, faking trade statements and audits. He kept it going for decades. When the 2008 financial crisis hit and people started withdrawing money, the whole scheme collapsed. Losses? Around $65 billion, the largest financial fraud in history. Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison, where he died in 2021. His scam wasn't flashy, it was quiet, trusted, and that's exactly why it worked. Fire Festival, the luxury lie that went viral. Okay, so let's lighten it up for a second, kind of. In 2017, social media was buzzing with one of the most glamorous promises ever: a luxury music festival in the Bahamas. Fyre Festival. Top influencers like Kendall Jenner and Bella Hadid posted stunning promos: yachts, gourmet food, white sand beaches. Tickets went for up to $12,000. But when people arrived, disaster. There were no villas, just disaster relief tents. No gourmet meals, just soggy cheese sandwiches. No artists, because none had been paid. It was like if the Hunger Games met Coachella. The mastermind, Billy McFarland, raised millions through fake documents, investor fraud, and just sheer confidence. He was eventually convicted of wire fraud and sentenced to 6 years in prison. But Fyre wasn't just a scam, it was a case study in influencer culture, hype, and how easy it is to manufacture status on the internet. Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos, Silicon Valley's blood fraud. Now, if Fyre Festival scammed festival goers, Elizabeth Holmes scammed billionaires, politicians, doctors, and the entire tech world. She dropped out of Stanford at 19 and founded Theranos, a biotech startup claiming to revolutionize healthcare. Her pitch? A machine that could run hundreds of blood tests from a single finger prick. Sounds incredible, right? Too bad it was impossible. For years, Holmes lied to investors, faked lab results, used other companies' machines for demos, and intimidated whistleblowers into silence. She raised nearly $700 million, got on the cover of Forbes, and was celebrated as the female Steve Jobs, turtleneck and all. But in 2015, a Wall Street Journal investigation exposed the truth. The machines didn't work. The tech never existed. In 2022, Holmes was convicted of fraud and sentenced to 11 years in prison. Theranos wasn't just a scam, it was a symbol of how Silicon Valley's obsession with disruption can blind people to reality. People wanted to believe, and Holmes gave them exactly what they wanted right up until it all collapsed. Before deepfakes and crypto, there was something way more simple and somehow way more devastating. It was the year 2000. You check your email and see this message in your inbox. Subject: I love you. Attachment: love letter for you, txt.vbs. Your curiosity takes over who sent this? A secret admirer? An old flame? You click. And just like that, you've unleashed one of the most destructive viruses in internet history. The I love you worm spread like wildfire, copying itself to every contact in your email address book. Suddenly your friends, coworkers, even your boss are all getting the same fake love letter, and they're opening it too. In just 10 days, the virus infected over 45 million computers and caused an estimated $10 billion in damages. Governments, banks, newsrooms all hit. The creator? A college student in the Philippines named Onel de Guzman. He claimed he just wanted free internet access and never meant to cause harm. But here's what made this scam so powerful. It didn't hack you with brute force. It hacked your emotions. The I love you virus was one of the earliest examples of social engineering, the art of tricking people into opening the door for the hacker. Deepfakes and AI voice scams. You can't trust your ears. Let's fast forward to today, where the scammer doesn't need a fake letter. They can fake your boss's voice. In 2023, a company in the UK lost $240,000 when a scammer used an AI-generated voice to impersonate the CEO. The employee on the phone was told to transfer money immediately, and it sounded exactly like their boss. Deepfake videos have impersonated Elon Musk, Mr. Beast, and Joe Rogan promoting fake crypto giveaways or investment secrets on social media. And these scams work because most people don't know how advanced AI has gotten. We're now entering an era where a scam doesn't just trick your mind, it fools your senses. What happens when you can't trust video, audio, or even a live stream? Crypto scams. Digital gold rush or digital Ponzi. Cryptocurrency promised to decentralize money. But for scammers, it just created new playgrounds. From rug pulls where developers create hype and vanish with the cash, to pump and dump schemes where influencers shill coins they're secretly dumping, to fake giveaways where you send one ETH and get two back. Crypto has opened the door to millions of digital victims. In 2022 alone, over $3 billion was lost in crypto scams, many through fake apps, phishing, or manipulated smart contracts. The twist? A lot of these projects look legitimate. Sleek websites, real white papers, celebrity endorsements. But underneath? Just another Ponzi dressed in blockchain. Can we defend ourselves? So what now? Is every email, video, or text message a potential scam? Honestly, kinda. But that doesn't mean we're helpless. AI is being used for defense, spotting fraud patterns, flagging fake content, and verifying voices or sources. The best protection? Awareness. The modern scam works because it feels real. And the only way to fight that is to think critically, slow down, and never trust blindly even if it says "I love you." From fake oracles in ancient Greece to AI-generated CEOs demanding wire transfer scams have one thing in common. They play on human emotion. Greed, fear, love, urgency, trust. That's the weak point. The tools have changed. The technology has evolved. But the psychology behind the scam? That's as old as time. So the next time something seems too good to be true, whether it's a miracle investment, a mystery admirer, or a talking head promising easy money, remember, that's exactly what the scammer wants. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and don't fall for the hustle. Don't forget to like, subscribe for daily awareness, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update.